Who's getting big man's wife?
Well, he's going out of town in Florida, and he asked me if I'd take care of her while he's gone.
Take care?
No, man. Just show her a good time, make sure she don't get lonely.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 300. That's insanity to me. 300 of these. I have more people commenting and giving me star ratings and subscribing and all that stuff than I could have ever imagined. So thank you guys so much. If it wasn't for so many of the nice things that are said to me about my reviews and kind of keep up the good work and suggestions and all that sort of thing, I probably still wouldn't be here. So thank you guys very much. I know my views don't have immense amount of views on them, but I mean, it's enough, and I almost have 600 subscribers, which is crazy to me that there's 600 people out there that actually care that I'm uploading a video. So if you haven't already, tell a friend, give me some more subscribers, that would be fantastic. And if you could do me a humongous favor as my 300th review, the one thing I really ask of you guys is to head over to the Nit Picket page on iTunes. I'll post the link in the sidebar right here, and leave us a comment on the Nit Picket Podcast. Talk about, you know, how you like it, that sort of thing, and it helps out a lot, more than you probably know. But for the 300th review on this show, I thought, I never asked actually for recommendations, but a lot of people were sending me recommendations, and the one that I've seen to be getting the most is Pulp Fiction. So I'll talk about that for a little bit with you guys. Pulp Fiction is written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, and it stars John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, Ving Rhames, Bruce Willis, Eric Stoltz, Rosanna Arquette, whole cast of other people. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of other names. Harvey Keitel, and of course Quentin Tarantino's in it as well towards the end. Tim Roth and Amanda Plummer. Those are the last people I'm going to name. Pulp Fiction is basically a collection of stories revolving around different people. One of them is a story about two hitmen that are sent to do a job in the morning, and they're going to deliver this briefcase to their boss, Marcellus Wallace. Another one of the stories revolves around one of those hitmen, Jules, going out on a date, but he says it's not a date, with Marcellus Wallace's wife, Mia, and they go to kind of this restaurant, and there's a whole story about that. There's also a story involving a boxer, Bruce Willis, who throws a fight, and he's trying to skip town and run out, and he realizes he forgot his grandfather's watch, and he has to go back and get that. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else. There's also a robbery that takes place at a restaurant where some of the stories collide, and kind of, you know, the quintessential Quentin Tarantino film ensues. Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I don't think that's a surprise to anybody out there. And I think there's a few reasons for that. One, I think it's the best performance that I've ever seen John Travolta give. Two, it's the best performance I've ever seen Samuel L. Jackson give. Three, I think it's one of the best screenplays ever written. I said it. And four, I just think it's a highly, it's stylized, but I think more so than that, it's a masterpiece at what it does, which is kind of this non-linear form of storytelling, and it was, when it came out in 1994, it was kind of one of the first of its kind, or one of the first to actually become popular with that genre, and I think it does it so well. I think if you're going to tell me to sit down and watch a 2.5-hour movie that is basically all dialogue, it sounds boring, but I think Quentin Tarantino, I mean, he's proved it time and time again, but especially with Pulp Fiction, it's 2.5 hours of some of the most interesting conversations and realistic conversations that you've ever heard people have. To this day, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is just John Travolta and Uma Thurman at dinner together and their conversations. One of my favorite lines from that.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
Uncomfortable silences.
And I think it's just so real, the way that everything goes about. I mean, that line alone, I've said that numerous times on numerous occasions. I think the way that Marcellus Wallace's story and, Ving Rhames' story and Bruce Willis's story collide together is really horrific, I think, but it's also really well done, and in the way that Quentin Tarantino executes everything. Samuel L. Jackson's final monologue of the movie is probably one of my favorite monologues of all time. It's one of my favorite endings of all time. I think anytime I ever see that final 30 minutes is on TV, I sit and wait it out till the end just to hear Samuel L. Jackson's famous monologue about, you know, I'm trying, Ringo, I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd. Such a great line. I love everything about Pulp Fiction. I could probably sit here and talk about it for many, many more minutes, but I don't want to waste your time. I give it a 5 out of 5. If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction yet, do yourself a favor and go blind buy that bad boy, because it's just absolutely incredible. It's a classic and it's phenomenal. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you so much. 300 episodes. Comment, star rating, message me. Go to the iTunes link, comment on the Nit Picket Podcast, please, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much.
Pulp Fiction.
You really thinking about quitting?
Most definitely.
What's you gonna do then?
Basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
What you mean walk the earth?
You know, like Kane in Kung Fu.